Speaking of which, obviously, did the Chargers find their number one weapon in Ladd McConkey? 6 catches. Herbert was actually 6 for 6, targeting him 111 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kind of seems like Herbert the last 3 weeks has kind of really put together. I mean, I know last week no touchdowns, but it seems like he's slowly starting to kind of get it together. The first 4 games of the season, only I think less than 200 yards. Now the last 3 games over 220. So what are you laughing at?
Well, one, I just realized I forgot to change my Wi-Fi. Hopefully, the Wi-Fi holds up. And two, I'm gonna crap on the quality of opponents, but apparently, somebody else did that and got in trouble with Jim Harbaugh. So, come on, it's a freaking New Orleans Saints there. But I get what you're saying, Fernando.
But then it was your Cardinals the week before, and then it was the Broncos the week before that.
Yeah.
So
No, but it was a good win to bounce back from that ugly Monday night game.
yeah,
6 days later. So in a way, I get why Jim Harbaugh was a little testy because a win is a win, and also like he's a freaking head coach. He's not gonna bash the quality of opponents in the NFL. It's probably a big no unless you're Sean Payton. Sean Payton destroyed the Panthers and he was running up the score too, by the way. So I like Sean Payton for that. Like if you suck, man, and you're gonna complain about it, go do something about it. That's pretty much it.
Bill Belichick used to do that a lot when it was Tom Brady and all that.
Yeah.
They used to go run up the score on people, and people would get pissed because he was doing that.
I'm okay with it. If nobody gets hurt, I guess, but it's kind of hard to prevent that.
What did you think of it? It seems like because Ladd has been dealing with an injury, but it seems like Sunday was his first game where he was maybe back to feeling 100%. Well, not 100. He said he had a blister on his foot after the game. He's like limping. He's like, I'm not limping. It's just a blister. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, for sure. But what did you make of his game? I still do not believe that the Chargers offense is like
Mhm.
back and all this. Like I still saw a lot that they need to fix. They have some things they need to fix on defense as well. But overall, I mean, I guess a win is a win, and they needed a bounce back. But what were your thoughts?
Yeah, you know how last week or Tuesday we kind of were looking at the reality check of the Chargers after losing to the Cardinals. Like, yeah, you're like a middling roster. You probably won't be a Super Bowl contenders, but looking at the positive, and we kept mentioning it, like keep sticking to the road that you're on. Keep sticking to the long term plan. And honestly, Fernando, this road could lead you to the 7th seed in the wild card in the AFC. There's so many average teams in the AFC, and like, wouldn't that be a big win to like be in a transition year and you get to make the playoffs? Like, and you'll feel better with a better salary cap. You'll feel better with young players getting experience in the postseason. So they're 4-3 right now, and they're the number 7 seed in the AFC right now. So you should feel good about that. And then the plays that Ladd McConkey made, like we mentioned it too. Like whenever he's involved or getting like 5 to 6 targets, that tends to be better for Justin Herbert. It tends to be better for the passing attack. You tend to win more games there. So keep doing what you're doing. That defense is playing lights out. It's not the most talented defense. Ladd McConkey is getting better. Herbert's get into a rhythm. The running game was okay. But this track that they're going on, that game was also a reality check to say what you're doing is okay. Like it's okay to get to the 7th seed. And like you mentioned, Fernando, maybe go get a Deontay Johnson. Go get Darius Slayton. Go bring back Mike Williams because who knows? You could be a tough number 7 seed, like you mentioned last week. You could maybe give the
Not and
Ravens.
not you don't want to play. You don't want to play him or play them
Yeah, you don't
essentially.
want to play them because that's a tough defense with a good quarterback, with a good coach. Those are three ingredients right there to get a steal in the wild card. So everything that's going on this path, I like it. If you're on the path of the New Orleans Saints that can't give up on this current group, I don't like that path. I like this path right here. So, the other thing I was gonna say too, like I'm gonna take an L here. I was praising the crap out of the Ravens, and they go lose it to the Browns. So what do the Ravens play the Chargers? You never know with those ingredients that we just mentioned. What do you play the Texans? Are kind of like whatever to me. The Bills have been a little better, so I'll give them a little love there. But and then you never know with an opponent that you know so well, the Chiefs there. So get in the dance. You have a good chance. I'm not trying to be a super positive person. That's not me, as you guys know there. But this path seems right for me for the Chargers.
Problem is that if you look at the Chiefs, they're still winning. They just got DeAndre Hopkins and they got Uche.
Yeah. That
And
that seems like way too hard, too far out. Maybe they get the number 1 seed and you get the Ravens or the Texans or the Bills. That's
no,
better.
no, no, no. What I'm saying is like the Chiefs keep on making moves. Like that Uche
That's a
would
good
have been
move.
a good addition for the. I think the Chargers should go get a pass rush. I mean, I know a receiver and everything, but Hunter Henry's out there now. The Patriots have basically said that they're up for selling. Hunter Henry would be interesting. They would just have to have the Patriots pay most of his contract. Who else? David Njoku after this weekend, maybe he
Could.
becomes available. But the problem is the Browns are now they're feeling it.
Jameis Winston, man.
I know they're kind of feeling it. So if I'm the Chargers, I'm a little nervous going up against going in there, especially because we all know how the dog pound is. But the defense had some struggles with Alvin Kamara. Olave didn't really get going until Christian Fulton kind of got hurt. So there's a little bit of a concern there with Fulton. I'll tell you one thing: Tarheeb Still and Cam Hart are actually really good finds for the Chargers, and I feel like those are the kind of cornerbacks they like. Cam Hart walloped Chris Olave in one of those, and I'm like, holy crap! And then quarterbacks get nervous throwing to him because he's so lengthy. So Evan Ingram Boltillo, he just signed a new contract extension. That's a lot of money. I don't know if
he had a great catch over 3 defenders in that Packers game. By the way,
he did. But again, Joey Bosa came out of that game limping. He leaving the locker room. It was a little shaky. The pass rush really hasn't been there the last few games. Why not go get a pass rusher? Maybe try and find somebody. I know
Jadeveon Clowney could be another one.
Clowney, his name out there.
So Darius Smith.
Yeah, that one's another good one. By the way, did you know Kyle Van Noy has like 8 sacks or something in the first?
He keeps doing that. He did it last week too.
Crazy. No, and he did it with the Chargers. Remember to end that season, he had like 6 or 7 sacks.
Bring him back too. How about that?
No, they're not gonna. The Ravens aren't gonna trade with them. But just, and I'm just throwing names out there. But it's gonna be. I mean, I saw somebody today say, "Don't be surprised if the Texans trade for Deontay Johnson."
Yeah, they need it.
I found a little surprise. They're saying that Diggs might be out for the year.
Yeah, they're really hurting at receiver right now.
Yeah, and then obviously Tank Dell hasn't been the same. So, but we'll see.
But yeah, receiver too. It's gonna be a lot of competition, but a lot of options though.
Yeah, and we still have 8 days before the trade deadline, so it's going to be really interesting to see what shakes out. We're going to have a Compas on the beat, obviously, with the 4 of us next Tuesday, so we'll see what trades happen. We'll react to all that.
We're waiting for the results to come in for the election too. All that should be a good show.
Oh yeah, the bunch of crap. But obviously, it's going to be interesting. I'm really interested to see how many people are going to move. Who's gonna go? Who's gonna go get them? Who's gonna move around? And there's a lot of big names out there. I mean, the Panthers have 3 running backs. Why wouldn't somebody move to try and go get one of those?
I'm gonna get Chuba Hubbard or the Chuba. I forget.
Yeah. Go get one of those. But I'm just saying, the Chargers, I think everything's on the table. I wouldn't be surprised if they made 3 moves. I wouldn't be surprised if they made 0 moves. I wouldn't be surprised if they made 1 move. I mean, with these guys, it's like they're dinking and dunking. The guy that said that it seems like they're about to make a move is Motor City Dan Campbell. You heard him today. He's basically saying, yeah, something's coming, man. So
it's not Max Crosby, because apparently Mark Davis keeps telling everybody it's not Max Crosby.
You're far away from winning. I would do a first and a third. I'd be like, yeah, sure. My first is going to be a 32. And then he hates Mahomes. He hates the Chiefs. Why wouldn't you bring him in here? And they're saying that Hutchinson could be back for the Super Bowl. If so, I mean, can you imagine on one side, the other side? That'd be interesting. Thea, I'd be surprised if Jalen Waddle got traded to the Chargers. That would be.
They just paid him too.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
You know who might be an
Waddle's not a number 1.
No, but another option for Miami, I know he just got hurt, but if it's not like a serious injury, is a safety, Javon Holland. He's a free agent, and they already paid too many guys. He could be an option.
Dude, if you brought him in here with Derwin and stuff, they would be that'd be a really good addition for these guys. I just wonder if they're going to end up doing. I'm just interested to see what kind of moves they make. If they go 3 moves and they're all fire sale moves where the guys can move on in the offseason, you don't have to pay them. But if you're the Chargers, really, why you don't go all in. You go make a move to like you said, make the 7th or 6th seed, try and upset a team, which, like you said, it's going to be tough playing these kinds of guys. They could easily go into Buffalo without any fear. They'll go into Baltimore without any fear. By the way, have you noticed the way Justin's playing lately?
What do you mean? Oh, with
Like he's
Lyman try
playing.
to get stepping on him and
No,
things like
no,
that.
but like he's like celebrating. He's getting up doing first down. Like he's doing all this like stuff where like all this not celebrating, but he's getting really hyped. And I'm kind of like, that's not the guy that like I'm used
Jim
to like
Harbaugh effect.
seeing. Yeah, no, I guess it really is. So just
One more thing on the. I know we got to move on, but the Saints. I know they're stubborn as hell, and they just re-signed Alvin Kamara, but they got so many players. They could probably get a bunch of draft picks: Marshawn Lattimore, Tyrann Mathieu, Cameron Jordan. The list goes on and on. Like rebuild already. It's not gonna work with Derek Carr, Spencer Rattler, Dan Diego, or Gilberto Manzano. Like you're done. Blow it up.
if you're the Chargers, would you go get Olave if he's
Uh,
available?
he's one they might hold on because he's young, but oh hell yeah, definitely go call. Like you know how teams call Cooper Cup and that was a mess. Just call.
Olave
It doesn't hurt.
Olave would be an interesting get. Tyrann Mathieu yesterday and Herbert had two different plays where Herbert took off running and Tyrann Mathieu tried to lower his shoulder. Herbert lowered his shoulder and Herbert won that one. And then the next couple of like in the third or fourth quarter, Tyrann tried to get his revenge on Herbert. So that matchup's always been interesting because remember, he's the one that had Herbert's first career interception.
Oh yeah, that Chiefs
When
game.
he was with the Chiefs. So
Yeah.
I think the Honey Badger on this defense would actually be really good.
A lot of
So
options.
Calvin
Mario
Ridley,
Davis, give up already.
Calvin Ridley just got paid. His contract's too big. They're not going to do that.
No one's gonna bail him out.
Yeah, no. And Boltillo, T. Higgins has been hurt way too often this year. He's already been hurt twice.
But that's the point. It's just a lot of options, so they should make
Yeah.
something.
I mean, hopefully we'll see what they do.